Okay. So let's start our class. In the first class, we started with international organizations. So first two sessions we discussed about international organization. In the second session, first half we discussed about international organizations. In the rest of the half, we discussed about bilateral relations. So bilateral relations has been done, but when I was discussing, so I missed one important organization or important report which is released. So I did not, I could not cover in the last two classes. So let us cover that, and we will move to places in news. So important places which are of international significance. What are those places? See, places in news, you have, if at all you see YouTube, or if at all you see many people who are teaching IR also. So there are hundreds of places which are so much, which are so vast number of places in news. So what I have done is, I don't want to bombard you with so much of places in news. So from my perspective, what are the topics which are very much relevant from examination that you can understand, that you can learn. Ekko chadivina gurtundav. So there is no point. But my point is, bilateral relations many people are ignoring. సో ఏమైపోయింది అంటే, చాలా మంది ఏమనుకుంటారంటే ఇంటర్నేషనల్ రిలేషన్స్ అంటే ప్లేసెస్ ఇన్ న్యూస్ అంటున్నారు. బట్ ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటి అంటే, పేపర్ సరిగ్గా చూసి అర్థమవుతుంది. ప్లేసెస్ ఇన్ న్యూస్ రావట్లేదు అని కాదు. ప్లేసెస్ ఇన్ న్యూస్ యూ షుడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్, బట్ యూ షుడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ దోస్ ప్లేసెస్ ఇన్ న్యూస్ యాజ్ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ learning. So that is the reason why you see, when I was discussing about bilateral relation, when I was discussing about international organizations also, so we did cover so many places. Ports, when I was discussing international north-south transport corridor, when we were discussing about India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor, so we discussed about ports. So I'll try to do other places in news also. In the first half today, we will be discussing about places in news, and we will finish that, and we'll jump to polity. Already third day I wanted to finish international relations, which has been extended for another session. Okay, so we'll start in the second session with polity. So polity also, all the important issues which are in the news and which is very much important from examination point of view, we'll see. Okay, so SIPRI is in Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. So what it has done is, SIPRI has released its recent report on global arms imports and exports on March 10th, 2025. See, the reason why this SIPRI report is important is, see, annual reports, or anyways important annual reports are being repeatedly asked by UPSC. But UPSC is also focusing on those areas where, if at all a report is being released after 4 years or 5 years once, like SIPRI. So these type of reports are being asked. So, and this is this SIPRI report is very much important in not only in that context, but also nowadays we see whether it might be Russia's aggression on Ukraine, whether it might be Israel's blockade of Gaza. So in everywhere we see usage of arms, and that is this is the second context why this SIPRI report is very much important. And another third most reason why this SIPRI report is important is, India is one of the major country which is net arms importer. So these are the three reasons why this report gains significance from examination point of view. Is it clear? So that's what I am trying to say. So I am not going to teach you something which is just in the news, but from examination point, that should be very much relevant, right? So what we have seen is, overall volume of arms transfer globally remained at roughly the same size. So now we are talking about this is a report which is released in 2025, means nothing but it is talking about 2020 to 24, that span of 5 years. So compared to that, in 2020 to 2024, the volume of arms transfer globally remained roughly the same as between 2015 to 2019 and 2010 to 2014. So during those previous period, how was there? That was the scenario. But what we have observed is, Ukraine became the net largest importer of arms. So Ukraine became the largest arms importer. You can understand why do you think that Ukraine became the largest importer? Because Ukraine was at war with Russia. And see, when you are talking about this, understanding is very much important from examination point of view. When you are talking about arms, when you are talking about arms export precisely, you cannot ignore a country called USA, because the major exports which USA is doing to the world is arms, and it is also exporting war. If at all a world is peaceful, USA don't like it, because USA want, there needs to be an aggression amongst two countries. Why? In India, you know, there is a meme that whenever people are fighting, you know, one state person will come and sell idli sambar, one state person will come and sell his own brand, but a Gujarati person will come and sell tea. Okay, so on the same lines, how Gujaratis or many such community, Banya community is interested in trade. On the same lines, USA is very much interested in exporting arms, and to export arms, there needs to be a war. That is the reason why I am saying that USA is good at exporting war. You understand my point? So for that matter, you see from Gulf crisis onwards, okay, so whatever war you see, okay, cheye kaadu, kaalu kuda untadi USA. So that is the reason why, so you have to understand. Now the point here is, why I have given that understanding is, Ukraine is being supported by USA, and USA, and for that matter IR కొంచెం డీటెయిల్ గా చదివితే చాలా మందికి ఏం అర్థమవుతుంది అంటే, the declining power of USA made USA start this Ukraine war. If we have some basics on that, but this you understood, now we don't have time to substantiate that. So USA is one country which is always interested in wars. Okay, that is the reason why it can export their arms. The reason why USA is so much interested in exporting arms is because USA is one country which is suffering with unsustainable trade deficit. Means nothing but that country's trade deficit is more than their GDP. You understand my point? So that is the reason why. So when you have this unsustainable debt, how to manage that debt? Means nothing but you have to increase your exports. So USA is good at exporting arms. So that is the reason why USA don't want the world to be peaceful. Okay. So now Ukraine became the largest arms importer, experiencing a 100-fold increase in imports compared to 2015 to 2019. See, compared to 2015 to 2019 means now we are talking about the period. You have to understand 2020 to 2024. Am I clear on this? Okay. So are we clear on this? Now, so next, you can read this data. So China dropped out of 10 arms importer countries because China is manufacturing its own arms. Okay, 4 countries in Asia and ranked among the top largest arms importers globally in 2024. Okay, next, see, this is what in 2000 in. Okay, you can see the comparison in 2015 2019. So this is 2019 2015 to 2019. Now this is comparison with 2020 to 24. You can understand the increase in arms imports, but you have to understand that. So India, this is one thing which is very much important. Students should understand carefully. In India, although India is the second largest arms importer in the world, is this clear from the data? Now UPSC might ask that compared, India is the second largest importer of arms, and it will also give a contradicting statement saying that India's arms imports have reduced during this period of time. Now what does this convey? On the prima facie you will see that no, this cannot happen, but the data is saying that that is true. So India's arms imports have reduced from 9.1 to 8.3. So this is how also you have to be careful with respect to charts. Okay, so Qatar also we see arms imports have increased. So This is how you have to see. And for that matter, you have to see, because now India and Pakistan are at loggerheads on many issues. So you have to see that Pakistan arms imports have increased. Now, who is the customer? No, USA. Okay, recently USA and Pakistan have done billions of arms deal. That is the reason why you see Trump is also not openly criticizing Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan arms imports increased. So you can also see all this factual data. So Indian arms import. India remained the biggest arms export destination for both Russia and France. So you have to understand that which is the largest arms largest arms exporter to India. That is Russia. Next to that you have France. After that you have Israel or USA. So these are the four countries. So India's reliance on Russian arms has been declined. You can understand. So from France, what are we? Okay, what are we purchasing? So United States, as I said, no, United States increased its share of global arms to 43%. Russian arms exports declined by 64%. Okay, the reason is because USA is taking that place. France surpassed Russia as the second largest arms exporter with 9.6% of global share. 9.6% is nothing but this is the rate of change compared to previous term. Are you understanding this data? Okay. So this report is very much important. So you can, okay, CPRI is a leading global think tank that analyzed global security, arms, trade and military expenditures. So this, more than that, at least you should know that if CPRI, when we are talking about CPRI, they would give that and say that what is the focus area of this report. So you should understand that the focus of area of this CPRI report is about arms imports and exports. Next, yesterday we did discuss about WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization. Then I was talking about, when I was discussing about what World Intellectual Property Organization, I was mentioning about focusing on certain innovation practices. When can innovation practices be promoted? When can innovation be encouraged? When can innovation be boosted? Is when innovation is boosted only when you can protect the intellectual property. So if by trade act or by a patent right, by providing more patent, people will be motivated more. And for that matter, India will also export our products to other countries until and unless our product is not being copied. You understand my point? So that is the reason why innovative practices needs certain legal safeguards. Intellectual property rights need some protection such that your innovative practices will be progressed. You understand my point? So that is the reason why there was India have signed, okay. So India has signed the final act of Riyadh Design Treaty. Riyadh is Saudi capital. So why this treaty is very much important is because this treaty has been finalized after 20 years of negotiations. Now what is the significance of this treaty is, it is about design. Now you see very, very small medium scale enterprises are talking or focusing on this innovative, they wanted to expand their horizon of innovation. They wanted to explore more markets. So this is how we see, by protecting innovative practices, this will give boost to small scale industries. And a simple point is, whenever an entrepreneur is gradually developing, now don't you think that entrepreneur, that company will not become within one day or within a fortnight, it will become the multinational MNC. It takes time. It takes its incubation period. During that point of time, don't you think there is a need to protect that idea? If at all that idea is been copied by some big market, so which company can do marketing better? This big company. So now, don't you think this big company will encash on the idea which is of small company? So this is the reason why you need fair competition also. So this design law treaty is also focusing on that. So it is a landmark agreement adopted by member states of the World Intellectual Property Organization after nearly 2 decades of negotiations. You understand my point? So as I said, no, it aims to streamline and harmonize global design protection frameworks. Now, what is the outcome for this is, what are the key features is, it is trying to simplify the application process and all these things. Okay, you can go through this. And it will empower, this is very much important, it will empower startups and small and medium scale enterprises to secure design rights globally. You understand my point? Now we are living in an, what you say, capitalistic world, the world which is run by MNCs. So until and unless we don't give boost to small startups, we don't protect them, we don't take consideration into their idea and give that legality, then many companies will be encashing on that idea. So this is very much important. So this we discussed about World Intellectual Property Organization. I said that Berne Convention is very much important for literature and artistic work, and Marrakesh Treaty is also very much important. So we did discuss. Financial Action Task Force has been discussed. This is one thing which I wanted to discuss. So Global Plastic Action Partnership is nothing but what you say, it is trying to translating plastic pollution commitments into concrete actions. So we are trying to focus that reduce plastic pollution. We have to reduce plastic pollution. Right? Why this global, many people will be thinking that, sir, why global plastic action partnership is very much important. The reason why it is very much important is because India is the largest emitter of plastic all over the world. Okay, so from this context also this is very much important. And other thing is, it is a platform of World Economic Forum, one of the important international organization. Okay, so these are the things which I wanted to discuss. And you understood that, see, as I said, now India became the world largest plastic emitter of the world. Now you have to understand that global plastic action partnership recently 7 countries have joined. One is Angola, Bangladesh, Gabon, Guatemala, Kenya, Senegal and Tanzania have joined the Global Plastic Action Partnership. This is very much important. And other important things are, India, only Maharashtra state from India participates in it. It's not entire India. You have to be very careful about it. Okay, so 25 members including Maharashtra state from India. Okay, so these are the organizations or reports which I wanted to discuss. Now we will move to places in news. Okay, first we will be discussing with South China Sea. See, South China Sea, South China Sea have most disputed territories. See, the problem with China is suffering with a concept called Middle Kingdom Syndrome. So, Middle Kingdom Syndrome, what it says is, when we are talking about Middle Kingdom Syndrome of China, it says that earlier, at one point of time, this China was capturing many territories. Okay, many territories all over the world. So they wanted to regain that. They wanted to revive that glory. At that point of time, at one period of time in the history, India was also having access to our Indian kingdom, whether it might be Cholas or many southern kingdoms were having control to so many southeastern states. That doesn't mean that we can have that sovereignty or claim over those territories. But China, which is an aggressive nation, is trying to claim all the territories which is near to that. If see the intention, the approach of China is very simple. If at all there is a territory of neighboring countries, first they will claim it, and other countries will keep it as a rubbish action. ఓకే, వాడికి పిచ్చి పట్టింది ఏదో అంటున్నాడు, అరే మా ఇంట్లోకి వచ్చి ఇది మా ఇల్లు అని అంటున్నాడు. సో ఫస్ట్ first he started he rented my house, and then gradually after 3 or 4 years he stopped paying rent. After 1-2 years he started saying that this is my house. You understand my point? So this is the same approach of China. Okay, so now this approach of China is provocating many territorial issues with neighboring countries, especially with respect to Southeast Asian countries. So that we will be seeing. So first you can understand this is South China Sea. So South China Sea is connected with, first things first, you have to understand basics. This is Taiwan Strait. So South China Sea is connected with East China Sea through Taiwan Strait, and South China Sea is connected with Philippines Sea. Okay, so Philippines Sea with Luzon Strait. Okay, next, as I said, no, can you see the image? కనిపిస్తుంది కదా కొంచెం అంటే what you say pixels break అవుతున్నాయి. I didn't know, otherwise I would have copied some other images. Anyways, so now as I said, no, South China Sea is connected with what you say East China Sea. Both South China Sea and East China Sea is called as an Sea of China. Okay, China Sea you call. Okay, so now when we are talking about South China Sea, see, this is Senkaku Islands, this is Ryukyu Islands. These both islands are the islands of Japan. But now China is saying that, see, when many people will find it is funny. Sir, how can a country claim the territories of other countries? From that point of view, according to Mao Zedong's five-prong policy, you understand my point? Chinese claims Ladakh. Chinese also claims Arunachal Pradesh. You understand my point? I said their approach is very weird. Only thing is because they wanted to be the aggressive nation. They have developed this imperialistic attitude towards the world and majorly towards neighboring countries. So when we are talking about this Senkaku and Ryukyu, so Senkaku is the disputed border or disputed territory between China and Japan. So tomorrow, instead of Senkaku, they might give this name. Okay, so Senkaku is the name of that island given by Japan. But Chinese claim this place as Diaoyu of China. Okay, now you understood? So this is about first China and Japan conflict. Now when we are coming, so this is South China Sea. Okay, how many people knows what is Parcel Island, what is Spratly Islands? Okay, how many people know Scarborough Shoal, Mischief Reef? See, okay, so now you understood Vietnam, China. So this is South China Sea. Okay, in the South China Sea, Parcels Island is one of the major disputed territory. Spratly Islands is one of the major disputed territory. Next you have Scarborough Shoal. Okay, so these are the first you will be discussing. There are more territories also. First we will be discussing about these places. So before going about these places, I want to discuss about a concept called 9-dash line, 10-dash line, 11-dash line. Okay, వదిలేస్తే 12-dash అవుతుంది, 13-dash అవుతుంది, 14-dash అవుతుంది. అది ఏంటి అసలు? ఫస్ట్ వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ 9-dash line? అండ్ see, before going about these places, let me explain you this concept. Are you seeing these red lines? So these lines, this is what is 9 dashes. So this 9-dash line is the claimed territory of China. Okay, this 9-dash is the claimed territory of China. Now, first they were claiming these are all the territories. But when you see yesterday or last class, we have seen about UN clause, United Nations Convention on Law of Sea, And this United Nations Convention on Law of Sea is talking about special economic zones for every countries. Every coastal country have some territorial waters and exclusive economic zones. But China is not paying attention to it and it is claiming those territories. That is what we call as an 9-dash line. Now, just now we have seen East China Sea. Now from this 9-dash, it is expanding from here. From Vietnam border, it has been started. Now it is expanding to other East China Sea into 10-dash and 11-dash. Now China is claiming that we have the exclusivity when it comes to, this is our exclusive rights. This is our exclusive coastal waters. This is how China is claiming this 9-dash line, 10-dash line and 11-dash line. Did you understand what is this 9-dash line? First 9-dash line. Now, okay. So for the time, so we are discussing about South China Sea. We are discussing about disputed territories. We discussed about Japan. Now we moved to what is this 9-dash line. We will be discussing about Spratly Islands, Parcel Islands. That is done. Okay. Ivi gaakunda 9-dash line pakka pettandi. Have you heard of the words called 9-degree channel, 10-degree channel? In which context have you heard of that? 9-degree channel. Andaman Nicobar. Acha, Andaman and Nicobar is 9-degree channel. Maldives, Andaman and Nicobar. Maldives, Lakshadweep. Okay. So anyways, tomorrow we'll discuss about it. For today, you take this as your task. Okay. So study about it. Tomorrow we'll discuss that. Tomorrow we'll clarify. 9-degree channel, 10-degree channel, we'll discuss about it. So whether it is about Lakshadweep, whether it is about Andaman and Nicobar, we'll be discussing about it. So please, whatever task I am doing it, please do that task. Very simple task I am asking. And how many people are revising these things? Sir, okay, do revise. Is our attempt is matram kachithanga help avutai. Okay, and I'm not bombarding you with, I'm not giving so much of information also. See, when you see other YouTube channels also, many people are starting these special classes on IR also. But I finished these classes almost in 6 to 7 hours. Okay. And you can see the reflections also. I'm sure that there will be good enough of number of reflections in UPSC exam only. Okay. Now moving forward. So when we are talking about, first we will be talking about this Scarborough Shoal. This Scarborough Shoal is the disputed territory between China and Philippines. Okay. Why Philippines is very much important? Because India gave BrahMos missile. What are the other countries where India have given BrahMos or in advanced talks? One is Vietnam. You understand my point? Now you understood the approach of India is also. So India is also emphasizing on those countries which are facing the worth of Chinese aggression and trying to bring them into the ambit or into the fold of India. Is it clear? So now this Scarborough Shoal is a disputed territory between India and China. China and Philippines. Next, Parcel Islands. So Parcel Islands is a major disputed territory between Vietnam, China and Taiwan also. Although we can say Taiwan is part of it. Okay. So Parcels Island is a disputed territory between Vietnam and China. Okay. Now, why this place is in the news is there is an island called Triton Island. This is in the news. Why this island, Triton Island, which is a part of Parcels Island, was in the news? Why it was in the news is China started constructing airstrips in that island. So if China is occupying a territory, either it will build a airstrip or it will build a jetty. Jetty ante endi railway platforms untai chudandi, trains వచ్చి అవుతాయి కదా. So jetties is a platform where ships dock. Okay, so Triton is a part of Parcel Island. This is in the news. So there is a chance that this might be asked. Okay, next, Spratly Island is a disputed territory between major places, whether it might be what you say, you have Brunei, so you have Malaysia with China, and Vietnam also claims. Okay, you just need to know this Spratly Island. And now in Spratly Island there is a reef called Mischief Reef, okay, which is a part of this Spratly Islands. This you have to know. So in Spratly Islands, there is a reef called Mischief Reef, which was in the news. So tomorrow they might ask that where is this Mischief Reef? Okay, South China Sea or all. So incote enti ante UPSC is also not only looking at, you have to figure out where the place is. It will be also trying to compare with, for suppose now you know everyone like UPSC is changing its approach. అంటే ఏంటి అంటే సింపుల్ గా బట్టి కొట్టేలాగా మీరు బట్టి కొట్టి గుర్తు పెట్టుకున్నారు అనుకోండి, క్వశ్చన్స్ అలా ఇవ్వట్లేదు. స్టార్టింగ్ లో వెన్ ఐ గేవ్ మై ఫస్ట్ ప్రిలిమ్స్, యు నో మై సీనియర్స్ హ్యావ్ సెడ్ మీ, you come to like before prelims, you come to our room for 1 week or 10 days, we'll make sure that you will clear prelims. This I am talking about 2013 2014. So ఆ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్ లో నిజంగా నేను ఫస్ట్ టైం ఐ వాస్ వెరీ మచ్ వరీడ్, ఆల్దో మై ప్రిపరేషన్ వాస్ గుడ్. సో వెన్ ఐ వెంట్ టు దెమ్ in those 10 days they taught me some topics. That was my first attempt, and I gave that even without my what you say coaching also. But all those topics which has been taught, like when we are talking about Baltic nations, so what are the bordering countries, so all important topic, art and culture, what type of questions would be asked. So but UPSC has also continuously evolved. Okay, UPSC continuously evolved, and now UPSC is not asking those topics which you can remember easily. There should be some logical understanding to that. You understand my point? There should be some logical understanding. That way questions are being asked. So be careful with that. So now you can see that they might ask you to arrange about this from north to south. They might ask about what is the disputed territory with which country. Okay, so this way, or they might be talking about some island which is in the news, which is part of parcel, whether it is a Spratly Island or whether it is Parcel Island, part of which. So Mischief Reef and Second Thomas Shoal, both are part of Spratly Islands. Okay, so these are the disputed territories when it comes to South China Sea. Next, this is also in the news. I think this is a news. This is a topic which is recently in the news. So Natuna Island is the disputed territory between China and Indonesia. Natuna Island is a disputed territory between China and Indonesia. Okay, so this is one island which you have to understand. Alright, before going forward, you tell me how Indonesia is very significant geopolitically when it comes to trade. చెప్పండి, ఇది కూడా రేపు చెప్తారా? Malaccan Strait. Okay, so now moving forward, Kuril Islands. Okay, see what is this Kuril Islands is Kuril Islands. So these are the Kuril Islands. Now you can see from the map, these are been shared between Japan and you have here Russia. So this is the Kuril Islands which are in the news, is a disputed territories between Japan and Russia. So during World War, what happened was the territories has been captured. Okay, so from then onwards, you see the conflict was happening. So there are set of 4 islands situated between Sea of Oko. So between this sea and the Pacific Ocean, near the north of Japan's northernmost. Okay, so Russia calls them Kuril Islands and South Korea named them as Dokdo Islands. So you have to understand that what are these names and what are the countries which are being at dispute about these islands and where this island is located. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay, Kuril Islands, where they are located and what is its geographical significance and which countries are at loggerheads about that disputed territory. Okay, so next you have to understand that necklace of pearls, a necklace of diamonds. Sir, necklace of diamond is a strategy which is been developed by, which is been implemented by India to counter the rise of China and to counter the string of pearls initiative. So that is the reason why now you see China is trying to engulf India by capturing important strategic ports, and by capturing that ports and by constructing military bases, whether it might be in what you say ports in Myanmar, whether it might be ports in what you say Bangladesh, whether it might be port in Sri Lanka, whether it might be port in Seychelles, whether it might be port in what you say Maldives or Pakistan. So this is how China is trying to engulf, or China is trying to what you say uh, create that what create that threat to India. So India is also countering this with necklace of diamond. Okay, so when we are talking about string of pearls, so what are the ports which are very much important from string of pearls? So you can look into the ports which are very much important. Actually now it is not that much in the news. Necklace of diamonds is very much in the news. So please, if at all after this class you can go and you can look at what all the ports which are there with respect to string of pearls, whether it might be Hambantota, whether it might be what you say Gwadar port, okay, whether it might be ports in port in Bangladesh, whether it might be port in Sitwe port in Myanmar. So you go through that, and now you also see that these are the ports. Okay, so just now I have discussed, no, Indonesia is very much important because of Malaccan dilemma or Malaccan Strait. So this Sabang port in Indonesia and Changi port in Singapore are both very much important ports. So tomorrow, as nowadays, whether it might be, why I'm discussing this ports is, I did discuss about just now when I am talking about string of pearls, we discussed about Sitwe port, we discussed about Hambantota port, and there was also a port in Myanmar. Okay, this spell like choke, and okay, there is a port in Myanmar. I'm not able to recall it correctly. So there is a port in Myanmar, so you can go through that. So those ports are very much important from examination point of view. The reason why those ports are very much important from examination point of view is because just now earlier we discussed about multimodal projects, whether it might be about international north-south transport corridor, or whether it might be India Middle East economic corridor. Okay, so these ports are very much important from examination point of view. On the same lines, they might ask about ports from that places also. They might ask about ports which are in the news. So Changi and Sabang port are very much important. So okay, so what Digam port in Oman, okay, in Mongolia also. And many people might be thinking that might be what you say in necklace of diamond, you might not be well versed with Mongolia is also key partner, and India Prime Minister visited Mongolia and we had agreement. Okay, so this is how we are trying to counter the rise of China, countering string of pearls. Next, Baltic Sea. So sir, you know, when we are talking about Baltic Sea or Baltic nations, what are they? Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. Okay, so these are Baltic nations. Okay, so Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. Okay, so you have this Gulf of Riga, and you have Gulf of Finland and Gulf of Bothnia. So as Baltic Sea is very much in the news because of Russia-Ukraine crisis. So you have to be well versed with border countries of what you say Baltic Sea, and what are the gulfs which is near to that. So Baltic Sea opens to which gulfs? So you have this Gulf of Riga, you have Gulf of Finland, Gulf of Bothnia. So you go through, these are the places. So countries bordering Baltic Sea, you have Denmark, then from Denmark you have Germany, Poland, Russia. Okay, so look at these bordering countries. There is nothing to explain, so go through this, and this is very much important. Next, Chabahar port. Okay, ekkada undi Chabahar port? Now I did discuss about Chabahar port when I was discussing about India Northeast international north-south transport corridor. See, the reason why for India also this Chabahar port is very much important is Chabahar, along with Gwadar port, Chabahar port is having access to this ocean port. Chabahar port is also an ocean port, and for that matter, Chabahar port is along the Makran coast. Okay, this you have a Makran coast, and this Makran coast, both Chabahar port and Gwadar port is located in this Makran coast. And you know, India is using this Makran coast as a strategic to counter the Pakistan. How? Because when you are talking about Balochistan province is alongst this Makran coast, and you see India is focusing on like offensive defense policy. When India is being questioned by Pakistan that there is a human rights violation in Jammu and Kashmir, because okay, as I said, no, after Shimla agreement, this is a bilateral issue. So India is also trying to question that human rights violation is also happening in Balochistan. Sir, yesterday only, why this Balochistan was in the news? The Balochistan rebels, Balochistan province of Pakistan want to go away from Pakistan. They wanted independence from Pakistan. So India, that is the reason why India is, you can say whether it's not officially but unofficially also these Balochistan leaders are in contact with Indian government. And for that matter, you can say officially also, because once government invited the separatist leaders to Delhi also. Okay, so that is the reason why this Chabahar port is also very much important for strategic purposes when it comes to India. So it is only Iran's only oceanic port. Okay, we did discuss about what you say, Bandar Ali port. Okay, so there are also ports, but Iran's only ocean port is Chabahar port. So this is Chabahar port. Gulf of Oman. Okay, Gulf of Oman you have. Next you have Persian Gulf. So sir, whether it might be Aegean Sea, Black Sea, Caspian Sea, you know, Turkey bordering sea. So those are, see, in international relations, these straits, oh, okay, whether it might be Dardanelles Strait, or whether it might be Bosphorus Strait, whether it might be Bab al Mandab Strait, and whether it might be Strait of Hormuz. So these are very basics. So although because of their significance, Bab al Mandab Strait is very much important, because now you see, nowadays we see Red Sea is in the news so much. Okay, Red Sea. Why Red Sea is in the news? Because you see, Yemen is one country which is located at a geostrategic position. Okay, and Yemen, majority of the trade will pass through Suez Canal, and from then it will be entering into Red Sea. You understand my point? So Red Sea, from Red Sea it will be entering into Indian Ocean region. You understand my point? So that is a reason why you see this Bab al Mandab Strait is very much important. So there are some important straits which I have mentioned. Please go through those straits. Okay. So Chabahar port we discussed now. There are two more main ports in Chabahar. What are that? One is Shahid Kalantari and Shahid Behesti. See, this is where India is focusing. So see, already the Shahid Kalantari was developed. So recently India have developed a port in Chabahar. We are saying, no, we are talking about Shahid Behesti port. Okay, so India have developed it, but now you see, unfortunately India could not fulfill the promise of finishing the port quickly. So that is the reason why you see now Iran has entered into deal with China also. Okay, now we have both in Iran, especially in Chabahar port, we have the presence of both China and India. So that is the reason why you see, whenever we are promising any projects in foreign countries, construction investment in foreign countries is also very much important. Okay. So now you understood, these are the two ports. Okay, Shahid Behesti and Shahid Kalantari. So which is being developed by India? Shahid Behesti port. Okay. Next, Gwadar port, we discussed this, deep sea port in Arabian Sea in Pakistan. Next, Red Sea. Just now I have discussed, no, Bab al Mandab Strait, which is connecting Red Sea with Gulf of Aden. Okay, you have here Mediterranean Sea and here you have Suez Canal. Okay, so from Egypt Suez Canal, then it enters into Red Sea. Sir, Red Sea is so much in the news. Very important, Red Sea. Okay, so Red Sea is connecting with Gulf of Aden with Bab al Mandab Strait. Okay, so this is Yemen. Now this is very much the reason why Yemen is never peaceful is because of its geostrategic location. And you have to understand that Bab al Mandab Strait is located at a geostrategic location between these countries, Eritrea, okay, Djibouti. These countries are Horn of African countries. Horn of Africa country question was repeated twice in prelims. Okay, so Horn of Africa is one of the strategic location. So between these two, you have this Bab al Mandab Strait. So this is very much important. Okay, see, bordering countries to the east, Red Sea is bordered. Okay, so to the east you have Red Sea. To the east you have what you say is bordered by Yemen. You have Saudi Arabia. What are the bordering countries to Red Sea? Okay, so you can go through this and you can figure out, you can see what are the bordering countries of Red Sea. So see, point ఏంది అంటే బార్డర్స్ ఉట్టిగా చూసి గుర్తుపెట్టుకోకండి, జస్ట్ కొంచెం లాజిక్. See, the reason why I am not going more details into explanation is we never know what type of questions will be asked. So please pay some attention to this to these areas and you see they might ask. See, the problem here is they are asking that what is the arrange the countries which is sharing border with Red Sea clockwise and anti-clockwise. Okay, so earlier they were just only asking about bordering countries. Now they are asking whether arrangement with respect to clockwise, with respect to anti-clockwise. So that is the reason why you have to understand, you have to see, you have to pay attention, look into this map and you have to see how the countries are arranged. But this Bab al Mandab is very strategic location. You have Horn of Africa countries and you have Yemen. Yemen is Yemen good enduku important ante because Houthi rebels. Have you heard of Houthi rebels which are backed by Iran? Okay, these Houthi rebels are playing significant role in Yemen. Okay, and majority of the trade of European countries, West Asian countries passes through this Red Sea. Okay, European countries, okay, Western countries, majority of the trade passes through this Red Sea. Okay, now you understood Red Sea. Next, Gulf of Tonkin. Oh sir, చూడండి, but actually Vietnam is in the news, so I thought that this Gulf of Tonkin will be very much important. So this is Gulf of Tonkin, this is Vietnam. Okay, so China and Vietnam border. Next, blue line. This is so much important. Okay, blue line రాసుకొని ముగ్గేసుకోండి, దాని చుట్టూ చుక్కలు పెట్టుకుంటారు కదా మీరు, ఇంపార్టెంట్ అని ముగ్గు వేసుకోండి, చుక్కలు కాదు, అంత ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో recently in the newspaper majorly repeated topic is blue line. Now what is this blue line? See, blue line is a official it is a blue line is a what you say demarcation, okay, between Israel and Lebanon. So this is blue line and it is a demarcation between Israel and Lebanon. Although they don't have what you say official border, but it is been established by United Nations in 2000. Okay, so blue line is marked by this, you can see. And you know, as now Israel Palestine is so much in the news, and what happened was earlier Israel fought a war with Lebanon also. Okay, because Lebanon was used by Palestinian Liberation Army, okay, PLO, as a base to attack Israel. So then Israel waged an attack on Lebanon. So in this context you have to understand what is blue line, very important. Next, Kaladan multimodal transport product. Kaladan multimodal transport corridor. Just now I was talking about Sitwe port in Myanmar. So you know when India Doklam Plateau. Okay, when there was an issue of Doklam Plateau. Doklam is a plateau which is in Bhutan, and you know Bhutan has treaty and friendship agreement with India. Okay, so Doklam is located at the tri-junction of Bhutan, India and China. Now China wanted to control this strategic location. The reason why China wanted to control this strategic location is because this location is very close to Chicken Neck area. Okay, that is the reason why they wanted to control this. But Bhutan, being a friend, opposed. So India wanted to overcome this, one of the choke points or one of the weak links which is connecting Northeast India with rest of India. So that is the reason why we are thinking of alternative connectivity between North India with rest of India and Central India. That is how we are trying to connect. That's how we have formulated this Kaladan multimodal project from Kolkata. So whatever the ports which are in east side, whether it may be Vishakhapatnam. So from there we are connecting with Sitwe. From there we have constructed a highway and entering into Northeast India, and from there also, from this also we are connecting and highways and entering into Southeast Asian countries. So this is what we call as a Kaladan multimodal project. Is it clear? And Kaladan multimodal project, Myanmar, Thailand, these are countries which were very much important for Act East policy. Already did we discuss about Act East policy? ASEAN context law. So recently BRICS summit also we discussed about importance of Thailand. So BRICS summit, not BRICS summit, sorry, BIMSTEC summit. BIMSTEC summit recently held in Thailand. అరే నేను క్లాస్లో చెప్పాను కదా, తాత ఫస్ట్ థాయిలాండ్కి వెళ్ళాడు, అక్కడ నుంచి శ్రీలంక వెళ్ళాడు. శ్రీలంకలో దే హ్యావ్ గివెన్ హ్యూమంగస్ వెల్కమ్ టు నరేంద్ర మోడీ. ఓకే, so Lake Kariba, see this is a lake which is been located between Zambia and Zimbabwe. What happened is because of continuous drought, this is on the verge of it is verge of extinction, and so volume of water has been falling down drastically, decreasing in water levels at Lake Kariba. Okay, see African nations related places in news generally you see. So that is the reason why whatever places which are in places relevant from Africa you have to see. And the reason why is this is largest man-made lake also. Okay, so largest man-made lake. So as this is under threat, so it has been mentioned. Next, this is very much important topic. Okay, see Venezuela has glaciers. Now we know because of climate change melting of glaciers is happening. So now we have come to an extent that because of so much melting of glaciers in this Venezuela, so in this Humboldt, earlier this was referred as Humboldt glacier. Okay, Humboldt ocean current ekkada untadi? Bordering Chile. What type of ocean current it is? Warm or okay, so అలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా అడుగుతున్నారు. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ఇన్ ద న్యూస్, దే మైట్ ఆస్క్ అబౌట్ దట్ ఆల్సో. సో నౌ Humboldt glacier, because of this melting of glacier, now we are not under the designed definition of glaciers. We cannot classify it as glacier. Now we are referring it as an ice sheet. You understood? So that is the reason why this is in the news. And last class we discussed about Guyana also. Guyana is bordered by Suriname. Okay, bordering countries. This is in the news. So this area is in the news. Please be careful. And for that matter, South Africa and North America bordering countries, especially Caribbean countries. Okay, so these are so much in the news because of, like when I was discussing about India-USA relation, what that donkey route which is being used, Darien Gap we call. So through this Darien Gap we see many many illegal migrants are entering into North America. Okay, so that Darien Gap is also in the news. So these places, be careful. Okay, what is this? Like, see, this Darien Gap is connecting Colombia with Panama. Okay, and there you have this Isthmus of Panama. Okay, from this Colombia only through that Panama, that Darien Gap is passing. Okay, that is thick forest. From that thick forest, people are crossing illegally entering into North America. సో వాళ్ళ ట్రంప్ తాతను చూడాలని అంత కోరిక ఉంది, రిస్క్ తీసుకొని పోతుంది. ఓకే, వాడు మళ్ళీ మెడ పట్టుకొని బయటికి పంపిస్తాడు. ఓకే, 9-9 just now we discussed this, right? Yes. Chagos archipelago. This is very much important. What is archipelago? Group of islands. Okay, so what happened was Chagos Island will be transferred to Mauritius. See, this is a what you say. Earlier Mauritius was under the control of UK, and when Mauritius got independence, they only captured this Chagos Island. Okay, and see, and they have this joint base at Diego Garcia also. Diego Garcia atoll we call. So now recently what happened was there was a judgment which is been given by I think that United Nations, right? Not United Nations. International Court of Justice dismissed UK's right to govern the Chagos Island. Okay, and they have what you say? They dismiss the claim of dismiss the what you say, propagated claim. So definitely this is a territory of Mauritius. Okay, so they dismiss this. So that is the reason why this is very much important. So Chagos Archipelago, which is in Mauritius. And you know, there is also another place which is in the news with respect to Mauritius. Okay, so look at this, all this factual information. So Chagos Island will be transferred to Mauritius pending the finalization of treaty. All the USA and UK joint base will remain operational. So there is an Chagos Island will be transferred, but there is a joint military base, Diego Garcia. So that military base will be operational. See, you can understand that Chagos Archipelago was detached from Mauritius in 1965 to create the British Indian Ocean Territory. See, there is so much, what you say, so much, every topic has so much of explanation also. There is history also, but it is rapid revision. I cannot spend much time. Okay, so prelims perspective and discuss chestunam. And what was that another place? Did I mention? One sec. Okay. First we'll discuss this island, and then we'll go to Israel Palestine, because this Agalega Island, a group of 2 islands belonging to Mauritius. So India and Mauritius jointly inaugurated an airstrip and St. James Jetty on northern Agalega Island in Indian Ocean. Okay, so here we have established airport. Okay, so and we have also established a jetty. So where? Agalega Island. Okay, so whether it might be Agalega Island or whether it might be Chagos Archipelago or Diego Garcia, you have to know where they are, why it is in the news. Okay, next, see, there are important crossings. See, why many people are saying about the human rights violation, why many countries are questioning about the human rights violation by Israel on Palestine is because they are blocking the humanitarian aid also. And for that matter, when a United Nations was trying to send humanitarian aid, medical aid, food aid to Gaza, and Gaza is entirely entire borders of Gaza is being controlled by Israel. So when humanitarian aid was spent, we see Israel started bombing these crossings also. So that is the reason why these crossings are very much important. Another news lo undi kada, all eyes on Rafah. So you have to understand what is this Rafah crossing, what is this Erez crossing. Okay, so Rafah crossing. See, Rafah crossing is located in southern border. So this is Rafah crossing, and I will also discuss there is another crossing called Kerem Shalom crossing. Okay, next you have Erez crossing. So we'll discuss these places. So the crossings, why they are important, you have understood that. And more than that, Rafah crossing is so much important because the only exit point for Gaza that does not lead to Israel territory. Every exit point will lead to Israel. Means nothing but if at all any help to be received by Gaza should pass through this. You understand my point? So that is the reason why this Rafah crossing is very much important. So where is this Rafah crossing located also? They might ask the location also. Southern border of the Gaza Strip. So this is Gaza Strip. See, in Gaza Strip, Khan Yunis was in the news. Okay, so you have to understand places in news. They might ask, where is this Khan Yunis? So this Khan Yunis is in the news. Here you have. So tomorrow they might, in the exam, they might ask about arranging the places from north to south. So Rafah crossing is located in the southernmost. No, like southernmost or compared to Kerem Shalom crossing. So you have to understand. So Rafah crossing is above Kerem Shalom crossing. What is this Kerem Shalom crossing also we will see. Okay. Where is this Erez crossing? This is here. Although this is not that much important because this is northern border of Gaza Strip leading to Israel. Majorly we are talking about the strips which doesn't lead to Israel. Okay. So one is Rafah crossing, the southern border of Gaza Strip bordering Egypt Sinai Peninsula. So you have Erez crossing. This is the northern border of Gaza Strip leading to Israel. Next, Kerem Shalom crossing. This is important. These three, Kerem Shalom and Rafah crossings are very much important. In Kerem Shalom, you will see southern border of Gaza Strip with Israel. This Kerem Shalom is very much important. Is main commercial crossing for goods entering Gaza from Israel and Egypt. Okay, so this is a commercial route for goods which are entering from Israel and Egypt. So Kerem Shalom crossing. Next you have Nitzana border crossing. This is located between Israel and Egypt near Sinai Peninsula, almost here only. Okay, one sec. I have added this figure somewhere. I think I missed it out. Anyways, so you try to understand. This is between Israel and Egypt. See, this is Egypt. Okay, map. You see, this is Egypt. See, when we are talking about Israel, Israel is bordered Lebanon on the north. Okay, Israel is bordered Lebanon on the north. Then next you have when we are talking about Israel. When you are talking about Israel's north eastern side, you have Syria. Down you have Jordan. Okay, and south you have in the towards the east you have towards the west you have depends on which perspective you are taking. So when you are talking about Israel map, you have understood that. So north you have Lebanon, you have Syria, then you have Jordan, then you have Egypt, then you have Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so these borders are also very much important. Now, so between Israel and Egypt, so this between Israel and Egypt, there is Nitzana border crossing. So serves as an alternative route for goods entering Gaza during emergencies. So this can be also used as an alternative during emergencies. So this Kerem Shalom crossing Nizhana border crossing and Rafah border crossing are very much important from examination point of view. Okay. Just now we discussed, no, Jordan has this. So west, as I said, no, after Syria you have Jordan border. So West Bank is between Jordan and Israel. Why the name of West Bank? Because it is Jordan rivers. Okay, on the west bank of Jordan river, that is the reason why it is West Bank. So West Bank, Jordan and Israel. Now there is a crossing called Allenby bridge crossing. Okay. Next, you might be knowing all these places: Jerusalem, Gaza Strip, West Bank, Ramallah. That is the de facto administrative capital. Golan Heights. Okay, Golan Heights is between Syria and Israel. Next, Zedmore Tunnel. See, Jammu and Kashmir is connected with Leh and Ladakh to only, like you know, all weather loads through that area. Difficult terrain is very difficult. So this, we are connecting a big tunnel to connect for having all weathered roads. So it is a 6.4 kilometer tunnel connecting Sonmarg, okay, Kangan town to Sonmarg. So from Jammu and Kashmir, we are connecting Jammu and Kashmir to Leh and Ladakh. Okay, so it is a part. It is crucial for maintaining year-round connectivity on the Srinagar-Leh highway. Okay, only one of the two roads linking Ladakh with the rest of India. Okay, so Zedmore tunnel is very much important. Okay, so Jammu and Kashmir, you have Leh, Ladakh. Okay, this we have discussed. Hambantota port. See, Hambantota port, that's what I am trying to say. UPSC will ask that Hambantota port is located on the west side or east side. Where is it located? South, okay. South, this is Hambantota. So here it is south. It is located on the southeast side. See, the reason why this is very much important is you have Colombo port on the west side. What China have done is China captured Hambantota port. Now, what India is trying to do is India is trying to dump Hambantota port and trying to commercialize more on Colombo port. Because of that, what happens is, now you can see, definitely if at all ships which are traveling, don't you think they will come here, they will dock, they refuel, and they will deload and reload and will travel? But do you think that except for Chinese ports, which goes from here and comes back and travels, it won't, right? So that is the reason why you see Hambantota port initially thought that it will become one of the commercial hub, but unfortunately after its construction you see that much it is not being remunerative. So what India is trying to do is India is trying to promote more jetties in Colombo, and from that it is trying to use that Colombo as an hub for India. Okay, just you have to understand that where is the location. Okay, that is the reason why I am not asking you to remember any places. Just to see and get an idea. Until unless you see, this is not some other exam like where you have to cram. You have to understand. Okay, you have to understand what is the place, what is its location. When we are talking about Rafah crossing also, you have to understand why it is very much important. Next. Okay, so see, between Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, there are two areas. One is Fargana area and one is Baikan region. So these are the disputed territories between Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. And you know, this is most populated region and this is major core area for conflict. So you have to understand. So border dispute between Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. So one is Baikan region, next is Fargana Valley. Okay, so You have to understand this is Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and what are that prospect, what is that area where the conflict is there. So these are the two places. Okay, Batken region is and Fergana region is a conflict between Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. And by the way, what is that gas field which is located in Turkmenistan? Galkinish gas field. Okay. Rest of the factual information I have given about, like what are the, which is the country which is having longest border with India. You can go through this. Next, Shenijan area. How many people know about Shenijan area? What is this Shenijan area? How many people know about European Union? బ్రెక్సిట్ ఎంతమంది విన్నారు? బ్రెక్సిట్ చెప్పండి సార్. బ్రెక్సిట్ ఏంటి? బ్రిటన్ ఎగ్జిటింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ యూరోపియన్ యూనియన్. వై బ్రిటన్ ఎగ్జిటెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ యూరోపియన్ యూనియన్? మోర్ ఎకనామిక్ బర్డెన్ ఆన్. మరి అట్లయితే మరి జర్మనీ ఇటలీ ఎందుకుంటున్నాయి? జర్మనీ ఇటలీ ఫ్రాన్స్ ఎందుకుంటున్నాయి? What is the primary reason why Britain have come out of European Union? Location ain't problem. Location. Second, why Britain came out of European Union? Britain don't want to compromise on their sovereignty. See, European Union is a union of 28 countries. They came together, and every country will have national institutions. India have a national institution like Supreme Court, okay, and Parliament and all this. But when it comes to European Union is not only an economic and regional union, but it is also a political union. When you are writing an answer, you have to mention it is also a political union, because above this all European countries, you have supranational institutions like is European Union Commission, European Union High Commission, European Union Parliament. So those are supranational institutions, means institutions over national institutions. Now, if Britain want to have any deal with any other country, these supranational institutions, acts and laws have to be followed. Means nothing but now Britain is thinking that I am a sovereign country. The decisions about my country should be taken by people of Britain, not people of all over the European Union. So that is what is European Union. That was a major issue. Now, after Britain coming out of European Union, Britain is also facing another problem. What is it? Migration. Okay. Another political issue. మనం యూకే అంటాం చూడండి. యూకే ఇంక్లూడ్స్ హౌ మెనీ కంట్రీస్? లైక్ నార్థన్ ఐర్లాండ్ అండ్ ఇంగ్లాండ్. ఓకే, నౌ యూ టెల్ మీ, దిస్ ఈస్ ద మేజర్ హింట్. వాట్ ఈస్ అనదర్ పొలిటికల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ విచ్ ఈస్ బీన్ ఫేస్డ్ బై యూకే? ఏం లేదు సార్, మంచిగా ఉంది. మనకెందుకు బ్రిటన్ గురించి? స్కాట్లాండ్ wants autonomy, wants independence. So now the issue is Scotland also want to come out of UK. Okay, another major problem which is been faced by Britain. So anyways, so that is with respect to European Union and Brexit. Now coming to the point, Shenijan area is nothing but it is an area within European Union where the countries, see, European Union is an economic, political and regional union. Okay, all these things. But Shenijan area is a union. It's an area where countries which are part of this Shenijan area has established, has removed their borders also. Already European Union is a political union. If at all you enter into one country, you no need separate visas to enter into other countries. Okay, there will be free movement of goods, free movement of services and free movement of people. The problem is not only free movement of people. There are some countries, amongst these countries we have seen they have removed borders also. Means nothing but they are having open borders. Okay, so that area is called Shenzhen area. Now you understood what is Shenzhen area? Okay. So why this Shenzhen area is in the news? So Bulgaria and Romania became full members of the borderless Shenzhen area. Okay. Now you understood what is this Shenzhen area? What is this European Union? Next, Orkney Island. So as I said, no, United Kingdom, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, England. Okay. So all, and you know, when you are talking about, not only Scotland wants autonomy, Scotland wants to go away from United Kingdom. In United Kingdom, you have Northern Ireland. Conflict is also going on between Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. Okay, these are the two issues which you have to know. Although prelims can be important, like from mains, it is very much important. So Orkney is an archipelago located off the coast of the north coast of Scotland. Okay, so this is in the news. Okay, Orkney Island. ఈ లొకేషన్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది అనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, నార్త్ కోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ స్కాట్లాండ్. నెక్స్ట్, నగోర్నో కరాబక్ ఏరియా. సి యు నో Caucasian mountains ఉంటాయి. Okay, so you have these Caucasian mountains. These Caucasian mountains are spread in 3 countries. Okay, Armenia, Azerbaijan and Georgia. Okay, and you also have this Caspian Sea. Okay, so Caucasian mountains, దాన్ని Mount Caucasus అంటాం. Okay, so ఈ Caucasus region లో there is between Armenia and Azerbaijan there is a region called Nagorno-Karabakh. So this region, if you see carefully, this this region, sorry, my bad. If you see this region is entirely in Azerbaijan. But ఈ region entire గా Azerbaijan లో ఉన్న ఈ region లో Armenian population is more. So that is the dispute which is going on between Armenia and Azerbaijan. ఏముంది, జనాలు ఎక్కువ ఉంటే ఏమవుతుంది? అదే చెప్తున్నాను చూడండి, నీ ఇంట్లో నువ్వు ఒక్కనివి 100 మంది టెనెంట్స్ ఉన్నారు. who will become the owners by default? So that is what is happening. Okay, so you have to know this Nagorno-Karabakh region. It is just, you have to know that this is between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Sir, UPSC strategically they will also give, it is a border area between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Now tell me, is it border? No, it is entirely within Azerbaijan. So that might also be a question. That is what I am saying. No, don't remember, just see, observe things, just understand. Next, Lake Titicaca. So it is situated between Peru and Bolivia. Did we discuss about what you say, lithium triangle? What are those countries? Argentina, Bolivia, Chile. Okay, so Lake Titicaca, it is situated between Peru and Bolivia. It's world's highest navigable water. Why it is in the news? Recently, water levels in it has been fell to very low levels. Okay, water levels in that lake has fallen drastically. Okay, so that is the reason why. And we also discussed about another lake, Kariba. That is also because of drought. The water levels higher, largest man-made lake we discussed, right? Next, Gulf of Oman, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman. Okay, next you have Strait of Hormuz, Kawa Ijen Crater Lake. Okay, this lake is the world's highest acidic lake and it is included in UNESCO Biosphere Reserves. So it is located in Indonesia. Okay, Indonesia port enti? Sabami and Changi. Changi is Singapore. Malawi. Malawi is a landlocked country located in Southeast Africa. So this is, it borders between Zambia to the northeast, Tanzania to the north. Okay, it is bordered with Zambia in northwest, northeast, and Mozambique to the east. So these three countries, 1, 2, 3. ఇదే ఇదంతా ఉంది చూడండి. Sir, in the news you have to understand there are 3 places. One is Kuril Islands, we discussed, between Russia and Japan, conflicted borders between Russia and Japan. Next you have Kurdistan issue is also there. Kurdistan is a place bordering between, not Turkey, Syria and Iraq. Okay, so that region. So this Kurdistan means why it is, see, recently Syria is in the news very much because finally Assad left Syria. ఇన్ని రోజుల తర్వాత అంటే లెఫ్ట్ కాదు, పంపించేసిందిగా. ఓకే, సో as Assad left, there was so much political turmoil. That is the reason why Syria is in the news, and Syria is also in the news because of what you say, Israel-Palestine conflict. So these Kurds are the one of the community from Syria who are demanding separate country, or that is what is Kurdistan. So now you understood where is this Kurds. Next there are okay, next you have Kursk region. Okay, don't get confused between these 3 names which are there. Okay, so Russia has declared state of emergency in this Kursk region. Okay, situated in central area of East European plain, Kursk border Ukraine. Okay, so it is bordering Ukraine. That is also the reason why you know already Russia-Ukraine war is going on. So this Kursk region is, where is it located? That you have to understand. Next, is there any point which I missed? It has deposits of iron ore, phosphorites. Okay. Next, Saint Martin Island. Why Saint Martin Island was in the news? అక్కేం చెప్పింది? Refugees came to Saint Martin's Island. అసలు సెయింట్ మార్టిన్స్ ఐలాండ్ ఎవరిది? ఇట్ ఈస్ అండర్ ద కంట్రోల్ ఆఫ్ విచ్ కంట్రీ? ఇండియా, బంగ్లాదేశ్, చైనా, మయన్మారా? It is, see, why it was in the news is USA wanted to establish military base in Saint Martin's, and you know అక్క ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇవ్వలేదు, హసీనా. ఓకే, సో అక్క ఏమైంది తర్వాత ఎక్సెల్ తీసుకొని ఇక్కడికి వచ్చింది కదా. సో ఎక్కడ ఉందో కూడా తెలియదు. మొత్తానికి అయితే అక్క ఇక్కడనే తిరుగుతుంది ఇండియాలోనే. నాకు తెలిసి ఢిల్లీలో కూడా, హైదరాబాద్లో కూడా ఉండొచ్చు. సో పాయింట్ ఏంటి అంటే ఆమె తర్వాత చెప్పింది ఏంటి అంటే మెనీ పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ ఆర్గ్యూడ్ దట్ ద రీజన్ వై Hasina asserted that she won't give up her claim on St. Martin's Island. Okay, we won't allow USA to establish a base at St. Martin Island. So that is the reason why you see USA has involved in false propaganda, and USA made this built this false narrative and led to the downfall of Sheikh Hasina. So ఈ పొలిటికల్ అప్హీవల్ ఏదైతే వచ్చిందో, సో ఈ సివిల్ అప్రైజింగ్ ఎందుకు వచ్చిందో, దిస్ ఈస్ లెడ్ బై యుఎస్ఏ. సో వై యుఎస్ఏ హావ్ డన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ సెయింట్ మార్టిన్ ఐలాండ్ అని ఆమె చెప్పింది. అందునుంచి న్యూస్ లో ఉంది. ఓకే, సో ఎనీవేస్ ఎవరైనా కానీ వాళ్ళ దేశం నుంచి పారిపోయి వచ్చినప్పుడు లేదు నాకు ఇన్కాపబిలిటీ అని చెప్తారా, దే విల్ లుక్ ఫర్ సమ్ justifications. Okay. So anyways, so these are the places in news. According to me, these places are more than enough. ఒక్కటి ఏంటి అంటే మెడిటేరియన్ సీ కన్నా రెడ్ సీ మంచిగా చూసుకోండి. సిరియా వెస్ట్ ఏషియన్ బార్డర్స్ మంచిగా చూసుకోండి. సిరియా రిలేటెడ్ రివర్స్ ఏదైతే ఫ్లో అవుతున్నాయో సిరియా అవి చూసుకోండి. ఇంకొకటి ఏంటి అంటే ఐ ఫర్గాట్ టు మెన్షన్ ప్లేసెస్ ఇన్ న్యూస్. ఈ గల్ఫ్ ఆఫ్ అమెరికా అంటే యాక్చువల్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ గల్ఫ్ ఆఫ్ మెక్సికో. సో ఓకే, changing its name, so that also you can see. So Gulf of Mexico, what are these like important places or strategically what are the what you say prospective questions em untai. So Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America you can see. Okay, and Gulf of California also you can see. Gulf of California is not bordering USA, it entire Mexico is bordered by Gulf of California. You have to understand that geography. Okay, so these are the, I think these are all the places in news. Okay, chalo next we'll start with polity. Any doubts? Okay, take 10 minutes break.